Good morning, good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson. It's JJ Diamond, Jackie, Deja, whatever y'all call me. First, I want to thank God that we're alive. A lot of people didn't make it, so we got to continue to pray, give God praise every day, and try to take care of ourselves, with the knowledge that we know, to try to live long, healthy lives. Let's check the weather in Charlotte, see what's going on, because the North has nor'easter right now, and I've been in a nor'easter. I was living in Buffalo, New York, and it's not a pretty sight, So I'm kind of blessed to be in the South right now, where we're experiencing just a little cold, and not so much snow, not no snow at all. Thank God for that. The most snow Charlotte gets is a little dusting, and it's gone before you blink an eye, So I'm thankful for that. But let's check the weather here today. Alexa, what's the weather today here in Charlotte? Uh-oh, she's too low. Alexa, volume up to 50%.
Currently, in Charlotte, it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today, we can expect intermittent clouds with a high of 52 degrees and a low of 32 degrees.
So that's not too bad, I've been just wearing a light jacket. One day I had to put on my coat. It was like really cold. But for the most part, as long as you got on some layers, you could peel off as it gets warm, because it does get warm throughout the day. And then the weather report is not always correct. Sometimes we go outside, we got these coats on, and then a couple of hours later, it's 60 degrees and we pulling it off and we sweating, which is not good as well. That can cause you to catch pneumonia. So, you just got to be careful with this weather. And I'm hearing in Florida, well, shout out to Tampa. They have done it. That was the team that I was going for, as y'all noticed, on Facebook. I don't know if y'all noticed. But yes, I was going for Tampa. That's my family's hometown. That's where my mother's side of the family is from. My grandma, Tina, that I tell y'all about, Tina Rodriguez, Emmanuel Rodriguez, they are all from Tampa. So, yes, well, Emmanuel's from Cuba, but he came over to Tampa and married my grandma. So, yes, that's my family's hometown. So I'm so happy Tampa did win. I'm not too excited about how the people was partying afterwards. They could have did all of that stuff at home. The stores was equipped with all party foods, anything they needed to have things at home with their families. However, they still proceeded to go out and party in the clubs, which was not a safe thing, So now we got to be aware of a spike. Hopefully we won't have the spike. Hopefully most people have gotten vaccinated, or it's just wearing down, and it's going away. That's what we're hoping for, So now we just got to wait this one out and see what happens, But once again, congratulations, Tampa. Love you guys. I will be in Tampa soon, very soon, within the next 2 months, hopefully. So, yes, I'll be down there to show y'all a little bit of love. Today, I wanted to talk about, because, it's Black History Month. And we always talk about the civil rights movements and stuff like that. That's everywhere. Everybody's always focusing on the civil rights movements. However, I'm not going to focus on that because we have a lot of people already focusing on that. That's all they do. They focus on what the whites was doing wrong to the blacks and what the blacks need to do. And, this is what they always focus on. So I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the Black inventors. We're going to talk about the good things our black people did and what we achieved, okay, as blacks in America, okay? They never want to talk about what the achievements of what black people do, and I'm going to cover that this morning. I'm only going to cover about 3, and you guys can do a little bit more research on your own. I'm big on research, y'all. I told y'all when I was young, my mother and even my aunts, they had encyclopedias in their homes, and anything I needed to know, all I had to do was go to the encyclopedia. So, and I'm telling y'all this is because it's not a bad thing to still have encyclopedias in your homes. I am going to actually, maybe sometime, maybe not this year because I'm doing a lot of things. Maybe next year I'm going to invest in encyclopedias for my kids and my grandkids because that's something that I grew up with. And if they needed information, they can go and get that information from the book and have it in hand versus going to Google and only getting a certain amount of information about a person. They get a whole story or maybe a whole chapter or even a whole section in the book about different people. So like I said, I'm big on encyclopedias, and I think that more people should start getting into encyclopedias and having them there for their children, even though we're on this internet thing. I'm from the old school, y'all. We didn't have the internet. We had to read, and that's what made us so smart. Okay, we had to read. We had no other choice. We couldn't Google things. We couldn't ask Alexa for things, and it's making it difficult for the kids to learn. They finding all kind of ways throughout the internet to find information to get the knowledge that they need. And that's not how we did things. We read. And I say it again, we read, okay? We sat down and we picked up a book, and this is what we did, and that's how we became so smart, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of smart kids today as well, but it was different back when I was coming up. And I also wanted to say this, shout out to a lot of the Black people. I was watching a story yesterday where a lot of Black people are going into med school. And I think that's a wonderful thing, that our people are saying, hey, I want to save lives too. I want to be out there to save my community too, and they doing it as doctors, or nurses or whatever the case may be, surgeons, it's a lot of us out there. They just need it more. And now that they have more, they're putting that light on them, So they're saying that the numbers for med school and Blacks is high right now. They're doing very well. It's not at 50% yet, but roughly 43% in some of the major schools. So yeah, that's a wonderful thing, So I'm proud to hear hear something of that nature, that our people are still fighting to be successful. Yeah, so now we're gonna get into the Black inventors. I'm big on inventions, y'all, because I'm always creating stuff. This is what I do all my life. I've been like that. I've always was curious about things. People laugh at me because I like tools. I love tools. And I'm a female, I'm a woman. So they said, what are you, a boy or a girl? I'm a girl. Just because I'm a female don't mean I can't have tools. Don't mean I can't create. Don't mean I can't take things apart and put them back together and it works. You know what I mean? Some people just don't understand, if they never been in that lifestyle or been around people of that nature, they would never understand. So they quick to judge. You know how people are. This is what they do. They judge, especially when they can't do it. You know what I mean? So I have to look at things like that and ignore it. I have to say to myself, look, don't be mad with me because of what I like. I think I told you this story when I was I about 8? I think so. No. When I'm talking about 8, I was like 11, if I'm not mistaken, or 10. Yeah, roughly around there. And my mother's son, which is Mikey, my little brother, father, had asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I told him I wanted a train set. And he said, you don't want no dolls? And I'm like, no, I want a train set because I used to ride the train with my grandmother, the Amtrak, to Washington. And I had seen the train set and I wanted a train set, okay? So I thought he wasn't going to get it because he made the statement of you don't want no dolls and because you're a girl. And I'm like, he's not going to get it. So I don't even know why he asked me. That's what I was saying to myself. But on Christmas morning, I got my train set. And I put my little tracks together. I'll never forget them great tracks. I put my tracks together and watched my train go in a circle. And I was able to make it go in a figure eight. It was just so much fun to me, to watch how the train goes around the track and stay on the track. It was just so amazing to me. And I was just so happy, and people say, why would you want a train set? You're a girl, because this is what I like, and America has never been where because you are a girl, you can't do this and you can't do that, because girls has had a lot of power and girls, females, women have had a lot of power and has had a lot of success in our country. But now I'm going to get into the inventors, and we're going to start off with a female inventor. She invented the ironing board, that thing that we always pull out and iron the clothes, make sure they looking crisp before we go out. Yeah, she invented that. Her name is Sarah Boone, and she invented that back in 1892. Okay, 1892. We're in 2021. Yeah, think about how long ago that was. Okay, and she was an African American. Okay, and she was born enslaved. Okay, and she was the first black woman in the United States to receive a patent on that ironing board. Okay, and y'all listen to what I'm saying. Okay. She was born enslaved. And she was one of the first to receive a patent in U.S. history. Okay? She was a woman and she was African American. Okay? So these are things that y'all need to pay attention to, about our black people and about our women. Because I'm touching base on two women today. I just want to, make sure y'all understand where I'm going with this. We have another one. Her name is Mary Van Britten Brown. And she was a nurse in 1966. Okay. And she comes from my hometown, New York. However, from Queens, but she's still from New York. When I just felt like I had to speak about this because even though it was before I was born, she's still from my hometown. And I have to allow people to see that this woman that lived in New York was able to create a creation that we use today. Okay. She was a nurse in New York, and she had a husband that always worked away from home. So she was mainly by herself. She was afraid to be at home, in Queens by herself in this house, And she decided to create a home security system. Okay, now this is an African American woman that worried about her safety. She started out with a camera on her porch. Then she added some other things. to where now we have have it where it protects the whole house, you know. But yeah, this is what she started out with, a camera, and then she put a microphone in it so she could talk to the guests. And if you go to some houses, okay, now mind you, this was back in 1966. I was born in 1970. Okay. Now I live here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and even when I lived in Maryland, I went to homes that had this particular security system. Okay. And of course they're doing more and more to it right now, you know, and perfected it to the extent where if you did if you did need the police, it one button and the police is there, you know. And that was her biggest fear, that the police wasn't going to come the way they needed to come, you know. But they wasn't going to be at her door in 3 minutes to help her if somebody was hurting her, you know, or broke into her home. And that was her biggest fear, you know. And this is why she created this. She was then awarded a patent 3 years later in 1969. Now, I just said 1969. That was right before I was born. I was born in 1970. Security systems are everywhere. And that is 5 generations later. And they're not going anywhere no time soon. So this woman, Mary Van Britton Brown, sat at home and laid in her bed while she was in fear, living in her queen's home, thinking of what she can do to protect herself, and decided to give it to the world. So y'all see where I'm going with this. You only become successful as you want to be. You know, black people have this thing where, oh, they're not going to let us do this, they're not going to let us do that. Oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. They give us all the tools to do whatever we want to do. We just have to follow through. You don't follow through, you're not going to be a part of the game. In order to be a part of the game, you have to play the game. Okay? And I tell people that all the time. You got to be true to yourself. Okay? Now, I have a lot of inventions that I had, and I fell back from them for a long period of time. You know, they would call me and say, hey, they have these companies that will patent your inventions before you even get the money to put it out there, you know. And then they have like a couple of TV shows that you could go on that I've seen where you could present your creations to inventors, you know. But that's a risky thing there because, you know, people, when you're looking at people and their minds and the way they think, what they may see or understand. I've seen them, I'm going to say this. I've seen them accept inventions that I would never purchase. Okay? However, somebody might purchase it, you know, because the retail market is very, very big, you know. And I try to explain that to people. 2 things in this world that would never go away. The hospital and the stores, okay? Because people are always going to get sick, and and the funeral homes, of course, too. People are always going to get sick, people are always going to die, and people are always going to buy and shop, okay? Shopping didn't just start, you know, back in the day, long time ago, you know, even though the stores were smaller, people had to shop because people own crops, you know, and they will present it to the other people so they will be able to eat. So it ain't like stores just started You know, these things been here for a very, very, very long time. And it's big around the world, not just in America. So those are things that's never going to go away, you know. And these are the things that you need to think about when you are inventing something to sell. What can be useful to my people? You know, I'll talk about one guy. And then, like I said, y'all can do your research. There's plenty of them on Google. You would be surprised at how many African Americans have created stuff that we use in our household, that you have in your household right now. You would be surprised. You know, sometimes we look at things and we say, well, how was this created? You know, they got this big thing on TikTok that be asking all these questions. You know, well, why is this and why is that? But now you can say, well, who created this and who created that? And what made them put this there and made them put that there? Look it up. Because you can. The history is there. Don't be a fool to think that we're not given anything. Don't be a fool. Because it's not true. It's not true. And I get tired of people not knowing their history. And this is why I'm talking about this today. You know, they always want to talk about the bad things that, you know, the white people did to us. But what about the good things they did to us as well? Okay, I got one woman here now, mind you, the first woman I spoke about, her venture came in 1892. Okay? Slavery existed in 1882. Okay? So this is why I'm bringing this to the light, because you can't tell me they didn't give us a chance. That it was all about lynching the black people. Because I've read in history different. And today we're not going to talk about what the blacks did to us. Okay? And why a lot of us did become slaves. We'll talk about that in another day. It was our own people that turned us over to them. Okay? So we'll talk about that on another day. I just also dislike when they say that white people are privileged. You know, that bothers me as well. Because they're not. The Native Americans were privileged in America. And we gave it over to them. We made them privileged. Because they had discipline. Some had discipline, just like some black people have discipline. But they had this more discipline. They had land. They had money. When we was trying to figure it out, and some of us did, you know, try to figure it out and do what was right. But we're gonna talk about Garrett Morgan. In 1923, he created the traffic light. I laughed when I read that, y'all. When I read about the traffic light, because we use that thing every day of our lives. And if a traffic light is broken, it must be fixed ASAP. So just think, this black man has created discipline on the road that we use today and will use forever. Back in 1923, the whole United States obey the traffic lights. The whole United States. Because if we don't, We're going to have accidents. We can go to jail for running the lights, get a ticket. Okay? So we have to salute these people, especially this man right here, Gary Morgan. We got to salute him. Because he has created something that we use every single day when we get in our cars or we cross our streets. Me coming from New York, we have to obey the traffic laws, especially crossing the street because there be so many cars, be so many people, The traffic light right now even puts a hand up and say, stop. Okay? When the people are crossing the street. So y'all think about that. Okay? And this man only had education, had elementary education. Okay? So he didn't have no education, and this man created a traffic light. He was a son of enslaved parents. And he didn't only create the traffic light, he created the sewing machine. Pause. The clothes that we wear every day, most of them were sewn by a sewing machine. I forgot to put that phone on airplane mode. I got to remember to do that next time. Because they'll call. I'll tell you, they'll call me. Call me. We all wear clothes every single day. We buy clothes every single day. We have towels, sheets, coats, shoes, everything that's sewn with a sewing machine. A sewing machine, people. And an African American man that didn't have school education created this. Something to think about. And it'll never go away. Because that's the fastest way to get production done. When you're making clothes. So y'all see where I'm going with this? And he was African American. He not only made, excuse me, my allergies, y'all. This heat and my allergies. I need to find out who made this dry heat. Because I ate it. But we're going to talk about that one day because I'm going to do some research. Because it just makes me cough. All of the dust, I guess, the dander that's being blowed into my home. Ugh, I dislike it. But then I also dislike the radiators that was created. I got to find out who created those. But, my mom, she taught me how to keep steam instead of it being dry. Because we were able to put like a pot on it. But the only thing for the water to keep the air moist. So I will always put a pot on the radiator, a pot of water to keep the moisture in the air. However, you can't do that with the air vents. You can't do that. So it did help. But the thing about that is, you got to worry about your children getting hurt. Sometimes they put a cover over it, because the radiator can get so hot to where you can burn yourself, I used to remember washing my socks out and putting them on the radiator, I need these socks right here, and I'll wash them out real quick, and the radiator be piping hot, and I'll bring them out, throw them on the radiator, in 15 minutes it'll be dry, so I remember that back in the day, so I remember the radiator thing, but this dry heat, blowing air, like I said, it heats up the home, and it heats it up pretty fast. It just makes you cough, And it's got to be a better way, it's got to be a better way. We got to figure it out, a easier way and a less health harmful way to help us when it comes to heating our homes. There's one other thing that I came across that this particular man, Garrett Morgan, invented, and it was a gas mask. Wow. The gas mask. That's deep. And then to this day, we're not wearing gas masks, but we're wearing masks. So, that kind of like, it sat with me, for a moment, When I said to myself, I said, when they started promoting these masks for us to wear to protect us from the COVID, now who would have thought that from this man making a gas mask, that all these other different masks, just like the gas mask, to cover the mouth and nose, would have been invented. And this black man that didn't have nothing but an elementary education invented this thing. And he was African American. That is huge. Huge. Masks are the number one seller in America right now. I was watching Law and Order yesterday. Shout out to Law and Order. I love you guys. They have episodes out that is, how can I put it, today's normal. And I was able to respect that because we need to be enforced, even on TV. When the president and the governors are telling us, hey, wear your mask, wear your mask, wear your mask. And we see it on TV and we see people without their masks and we forget, because we're human beings. We're not perfect. But now that they're starting to put them in the different TV shows, it's making it more real, I was looking at the TV show, The Jurors, they had on their masks. The lawyer had on his mask. They was in boxes, The reality of what's going on today, So shout out to Law and Order for that. I've always loved Law and Order. That's one of my favorite shows. Actually, it is my favorite show. Special Victims Unit. I love it. I started watching it when Ice-T got on there. And I've never let go since then. And they always keep things up to speed of what's going on in the world to remind us what can really happen, And this is why I love the show. For those that don't watch Law and Order, you should try it. They've been through all kind of series of whatever we've been going through. Kidnappings, rapes, trafficking. They touch base on everything. And that's why I love the show, because they make it more real. And that's what we have to start doing. And this is why I speak about a lot of these things. And I'm even with the trafficking thing. And I had ran into a person, and they was like focused on that trafficking thing. And he's like, why don't you talk about that? I talked about it about a couple of years ago. But now I'm starting to see it more and more. And that's what we have to do, people. We have to see what's going on in the world and speak about it, and the things that we feel, and get it out to our people so that way they can be aware, And I saw a commercial yesterday. It hurt me so bad to hear this commercial. But I understood what this particular woman was talking about. She said, she made the statement, I love babies and I want a baby so bad, but I can't have a baby in this cruel world with these cruel people. And I understood perfectly. Why have a child to be born and have to go through the pain of racism, bullying, ignorance, then being taught, you're trying to teach your child one way to be kind and loving, and then that child goes into the street and is being taught to hate and mistreat. Who wants to bear that pain? So we need to, continue to work on love, unity, and all I can do is sit there and say, during a commercial is we're trying to work on it. We're trying, and we got to keep trying. If we all work together, we will win. I got that quote from Nate Heights, my son, Dejour Harris. He said that when he was young. I recorded it. Y'all can watch it on YouTube. He was young. He was on the baseball team at the time, and he just decided. I've always had video cameras and stuff like that in my home, for my kids. When they came out, I actually bought one of the old ones when my son was born. At the time, it wasn't real old, but it was old now. Now it'll be real old, and I had bought one so I can video camera my son. I wound up losing that one, and I bought another one, and that's the one that my son was working on. And he realized at his age that if they all work together on their team, they will win. And I hold that quote in my head every single day. If we all work together, we all win. But it's a thing with African Americans. They have this thing that they can't accept that someone else has either created something or came up with something. And this is why we have so many problems. This is why. Instead of them coming together, formulating things to be there for the greater good, they'd rather destroy. And this is what's so bad about it, and I told myself that, I wasn't going to even speak on this topic, because I know who I am, I know what I do, and I know what my civil rights leaders taught me to learn to be successful and have the strength to continue to keep going. See, we talk about the things that our civil rights leaders taught us and still teaching us. But are we applying those things? That's the question. You can listen to it. You can say, hey, they right. But if you're not applying it, it means nothing. Okay? And then you got to remember, these people, they constantly teaching us, and then they get angry when they see our people are not doing what's right. They get angry. It's in nature. Because they're human beings after they're fighting every day to help get their people in line and to understand what they need to do to become successful, and then turn around and those same people embarrass them. Make them look real bad. So now they starting to say things that's out of the ordinary because they hurt. And see, I'm built like how Obama is, because he's also one of the civil rights. I'm not going to talk about you, and I'm not going to get mad. I'm going to just keep going and I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. You know, see, that's the new way of doing things. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. I'm not going to talk you to death about it. Why? Because you're not listening. You got some people that they want to be blind too. They don't want to listen and they don't want to see. That's okay too. Why they sleep? You'll be doing all these other things. And when they wake up, they be like, well, how did that happen? Oh, that happened while you were asleep. While you were blind and deaf. When you wasn't paying attention. That's how that happened. See, that's the new way of doing things. This is the new way, the new era of how we get our other leaders to become real leaders. We show them better than we can tell them. That's the way it's done. Because people, even if you tell them, they're going to switch your words around anyway. That was one of the issues that Malcolm X had. Martin Luther King did too, with certain things. So now, we choose not to speak. We just show you. We show you to create more leaders. And that's the way it's done. Just like last night. We all knew Tampa was going to win. They're the better team. But Tampa had to show them. So you get it? I hope y'all get it. And just like with myself, you know, I had some creations that I had wanted to present to the world, to the United States, that I've had for over 30 years that I use for myself. You know, granted, somebody else came out with the invention before I did. You know, because it's funny how you could think of something and say, hey, you know what, I should put this out on the market, but you don't know how to do it. And you're not around the people that can give you the right knowledge. So, you know, you never really think that, you know, you could possibly do these type of things. Then somebody else came out with the invention. And I'm like, wow, that's supposed to be me. And then I watched that particular inventor for years to see how many people was going to follow. And it wasn't too many people that followed. Okay? And then when I decided to say, hey, well, he doesn't have many competitors, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this thing happen after 20 years. Now, we have everybody named Mama that wanted to follow. Okay? And it's okay, because it's when you go to the stores, let me tell you something. When you go to the stores, there's so many choices. You know, when I go in the chip aisle, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, the potato chip aisle is the worst aisle ever. The potato chip aisle and the bread aisle. Those are the two aisles that I hate. Even though I worked in potato chips for a long time. Okay? But now, you know, I worked for one company, so I was able to deal with that company and that company only. When you go to the store and you're purchasing something, or if you're buying stuff for someone else, you got to look through all these potato chips. Potato chips take up a whole aisle. They have a whole aisle to themselves. One whole wall. And I think within the next 10 years, they're going to have a whole nother wall. It's just going to be potato chip aisle instead of snacks. Okay, because now they put Potato chips on one wall and soda on the other. Because that's what people like. Potato chips and soda. Or what they call it. Soda pop. So, yeah. But soon, they're going to have both walls. And soda going to have its own wall. Or aisle. Because that's how many of it is. It is. And then when one thing is not available, they get something close to it. You know? So, you just look at the competitors and you say, you know, I was always saying to myself, oh, you know, it may not sell because the competitors, you know, blah, blah, blah. But when I got into the retail side of things, you know, shout out to retail and Frito-Lay, I was able to see the competitors' market, you know, and how customers think. I was able to see that, you know, and I was blessed to be able to see that. I was blessed that that not only did I see it, I was told to look for it. So it wasn't something that I created or saw. Somebody a long time ago saw this creator's retail market with customers and said, this is something that we need to put in our manuals to teach so they can learn what to look for. You know, y'all notice I talk about Frito-Lay a lot. And I talk about them a lot because they teach their people everything. They don't hide it because they want you to be successful. Because if you're successful, guess what? They're successful. If they have, say, like I used to work for the Baltimore zone. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, it was over 100 route drivers, salesmen, saleswomen too. Okay. And if out of 100 of them, 75% of them are successful, that makes the whole zone successful. Okay? Because it's more than 50% that's successful. So do you get it? I'm so thankful. I'm not telling y'all everything. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all every detail. But I'm giving y'all the reality of what the retail does for the world. Okay? Some may understand it, some may not. But that's what makes retail special, because not everybody understands it. And those that do can become very successful. Okay? So, like I said, I was afraid for many, many years, you know. And see, God takes you down journeys that you need to go down. You may not understand those journeys and why, but He takes you down these journeys and you say to yourself, okay, I ain't never thought about doing this in my life. Why am I here? God wanted you to be there because it was so easy to obtain. And I tell people all the time, when something is so easy to obtain, it's because you were meant to be there. Whether it was for longevity or not, you were meant to be there for a season. So you can learn what God needed you to learn. Okay? And then you move on. That's the way it works. God takes us down journeys to learn what He wants us to see. And God has taken me down journeys that He wanted me to see. And it was all related to what I'm doing now, that I've been putting on hold for many, many years. And soon I will be releasing my products, which is a product that I was using. I think I told you I was in a bad car accident in Buffalo, New York, where a Mack truck hit the car. and they tore up my back, my right side. I remember it like it was yesterday, even though it was 20-something years ago. But I went through a lot of mental because of it. Okay, because I used to dance and I used to run. I'm an athlete. I like to play tennis. I like to jump double dutch. I like to just do all kind of things. I'm active. Okay, and it stole that away from me for a long period of time, and I had to figure out how to get better. You know, and with me being around a lot of older people and a lot of Indians, well, the people know it a lot. A lot of natives are in Buffalo, New York. A lot of natives are in that area. And being around them, you know, they gave me ideas, you know, on what I can do to make myself better. And I started adding to their ideas. So I was able to perfect it and get better. I would drive miles to get certain products to make myself feel better. Because I suffered from bad allergies up in Buffalo as well. Okay? Very bad. During the summertime, it was terrible. I hated it. And I would drive miles to get certain products in order to be able to maintain life. And, you know, sometimes you forget about these things. You know, like when I came to Charlotte, I could barely function because my allergy was so bad. And I couldn't understand what to do. I was like, well, what am I to do? But I had to think. And it finally came right back to me. Well, what did you used to do in Buffalo? And I was like, oh, okay. And I had to put it together. And I said, you know what? I put it together and it worked again. And I said, you know what? I got to give this to my people. Because God done showed me twice. He done showed me twice that his stuff is worthy of giving to the people. No matter if I got competitors or not. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Diamond Way by Miss J.J. Diamond, Epsom salt. The Diamond Way Epsom salt has been designed to give y'all pure oils, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's a lot of competitors out here that does not use pure. And it doesn't give you the same benefit. When eucalyptus hits water, okay, it gives you more, especially when the water's hot, the steam of the eucalyptus. This is why a lot of people use it in infusers. They use lavender. Do not, and I tell people every single day, you know, they have these burning lights and everything for these oils. Oils are not meant to be burned. They're not meant to be burned, people. They're better when they're steamed. Okay, it's just something about fire that doesn't sit right with the oils. It just gives it it burns up the essence of it. Okay, it may make your house smell good, but it just really destroys the essence of the oils. But when it touches water and steams, it gives off a different effect. Not only to your nasal, but to your skin. Okay? And I have, in my products, and my products are handmade by me. And I've been making them for years because I needed it. I needed it for my allergies. I needed it for my body. And I put both of them together and it soothed me, you know. And then I did some research. You know, I wanted to do some more research on some things. And things that I knew already, but I just didn't recognize it. Y'all know I got bad stomach issues. And peppermint is one of the things that I use. I drink a lot of peppermint tea. I used to suck on peppermints a lot. For those that remember me on Cortland, I used to always have peppermints. I would have a peppermint stick or the little peppermints because my stomach, would be sick. And if I ate a peppermint, it would help me. Not knowing that the effects of peppermint can help the stomach. And I didn't know, but I was eating it because I knew it felt good. I never physically did the research on why the peppermint made me feel the way it made me feel. But I knew if I ate a peppermint, I'll be okay. So this is why I'm giving y'all these things. My products have the Epsom salt, which has magnesium, and magnesium helps with swelling. Saline helps with swelling. Peppermint helps with swelling. Okay, so for people that have a lot of issues with circulation, people that are athletes and they get the swelling in their tendons, they need to soak. But they have to have the right oils. Okay. And a lot of these companies, and I'm not saying that all of them do it, a lot of these companies, it's very expensive to give off pure. Okay, you know how people, they want to water it down and cut it, because they can't afford to give you what is real, fully real, because they'll lose money. Okay. And that's just the bottom line. They figure, okay, we got to find a way to save money. And meanwhile, they're not looking at the benefits of what they could have really gave their customers, to continue to buy the product. Because once you use a product and you see that it's not working, you stop buying it. And that's what I did. I said, you know what? I'm not buying this product no more. Because it's not working. And why is it not working? And when I put my own stuff together, it works. I got to do it daily, but it works. I'd rather go broke for something that works than something that doesn't. It's the same way when you go to the hospital. You tell the doctor, say, we got to do surgery. What doc? Is it going to work? Well, I don't know. All right. Well, if you don't know, then we're not going that way. But if you know for sure that it's going to work and you want me to spend, say, $60,000, I'm all for it. But I'm not going to spend $60,000 and it may not work. Y'all follow me? So this is why I decided to go pure. Of course, I can't use as much as they use because it's pure. However, it would give my customers a better benefit and they will appreciate it a lot more. Okay. Not only do my product have eucalyptus and peppermint, it has lavender, something that relaxes us. When you lay down and you just can't go to sleep because your body is just constantly moving. It's not that anything is bothering you. Especially people that work out. When you work out, and I know because I was a hard body person that worked out all the time. And I would get into bed and my body want to continue to run. It says get up and go and run. And it's 3 a.m. And I tell you no lie, I was in Glen Burnie. So I was staying in Glen Burnie. I got up. It was 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. I don't know what time. It was the middle of the night, y'all. The whole family was asleep. And I got up out my bed and went to Planet Fitness and got on the treadmill at 3 a.m. And I'm in there and I'm sweating and I'm going. It's 3 a.m., y'all. I'm going. My body is just going. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Well, I can't stop. Then I went home and now I went to sleep. And then I'm back up 7 to get the kids ready for school. Right after school, guess what I'm doing again? After I got them fed and off to school, I'm running again. My body just kept going, just going, just wouldn't relax. It was just going. My metabolism was just through the roof. I said, I got to slow this thing down. People was like, well, why you not acting your age? People your age, sit down. I can't. My body won't allow me to. Okay? So I had to find a relaxing agent to make my body slow down. Okay? Because I needed to be able to rest. Because the body still has to rest. It has to rest. It can't just keep going. That's just like with a car. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, it's going to run out of gas. And when it run out of gas, it has to rest. Let it rest for a moment. So I had to learn that. And that's why I decided to put the lavender in there so people can have that calming body feeling. Especially people that work out. They have to be able to calm the body and go to bed. Because whether people know it or not, you have some exercise that will make you tired, where you just fall straight out when you go to sleep. And then you have some exercise, which is cardio, that will keep your heart going and going and going and going, and it won't slow down. And that's not good either. You have to have a balance. So you need to allow the body to rest. You don't want it to always be overworking itself. So I started out, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I started out drinking a chamomile to relax my body, and it works. But anything that you use too much, eventually, it's not going to work the same anymore. Unless you take more and more, and you don't want to OD on something. So you move on to something else and then come back to it. And that's where I started to use the lavender to calm my body. And a lot of people use the lavender to calm their body. It's like a natural high, people. And it feels good. I'm going to just be honest with y'all. You just be like, oh, yes, relax. Especially after a nice bath, It's the best thing ever. Okay? Another ingredient I have in my bath salts for you guys is coconut milk. Okay? Y'all know I'm big on coconut, Love coconut. Always love coconut. Love coconut so much, people thought I was Jamaican. So much I love coconut. Been loving coconut since a child. I would eat coconut straight up out the bag. When the coconut that you may put on a cake, I eat it straight out the bag. People are like, how can you eat that? I'm like, it tastes good. I might have some kind of Caribbean in me. Who knows? I don't know. But it just tastes good. Coconut, for people that don't know, is very high in hydration. Okay. A natural electrolyte. Okay. Even when you drink the milk, you drink the water, it has natural antioxidants for our body. Okay. And it puts that hydration in our body. I was introduced to taking milk baths with my Royals in Maryland. Okay. Shout out to them. I'm not going to say no names, And they're affiliated with some of the celebrities here in the music industry. But they introduced me into the milk bath industry. And I was like, milk bath? Why I don't want milk in my bath? you know? But of course, the queens, they did their research, and back in Egypt and Jerusalem, they used to take milk baths. I didn't believe it at first, but then I read some stories about it. I was like, okay, all right, this makes sense. So they introduced me to the milk bath thing. Queens should take baths and milk to give the skin moisture because it's high in fats. Okay. However, y'all know I don't do milk. I'm not really into the milk thing like that. I'm lactose intolerant. And not saying that you guys couldn't get it, but I would give y'all what I would use. And being that coconut milk hydrates our insides, it will also hydrate our skin too. And of course, y'all know I tried it because I try everything before I give it to my customers or anyone. And yes, it hydrates the skin. So I said I got to give it to my people. They deserve to have the royal milk bath. Okay, right along while they're soaking their skin, which became a whole product for Miss JJ Diamond. So the coconut milk bath salt is one of Miss JJ Diamond's top products that she is giving y'all. It's very expensive to produce. But I have to give it to y'all. And I believe y'all going to love it just like I do. Especially when you're a person that loves baths. I love baths. Like I said, I'm active. I'm an athlete form. So when you're active all the time and you're dancing and doing sports and running all around and you need that body to stop hurting, because your body don't always hurt because you're old. Sometimes your body hurt because you're doing too much. And you have to find a way to stop the pain, because sometimes the pain is so unbearable that you're like, am I dying? Do I have some type of disease? You start bugging. Your mind start going crazy because you don't know what's going on with that pain that you're going through. But then you get in the bath of Epsom salt and you say to yourself, how did it go away? This is one of God's minerals. That's another thing, y'all. I'm a strong believer in God. So, I try to use natural stuff, versus man-made, Some people just can't use man-made stuff. Like, I can't take vitamins. They hurt my stomach so bad. It makes me so sick. I'll be sick for days and days just from taking one vitamin. And I've tried it over and over and over and over, So I'd rather get it from the foods that I eat on a daily basis. And that's just the facts. I start looking up foods and seeing what vitamins is in the foods. And I eat them, Even when I eat snacks. I look and see what benefits this particular snack can give me. Like potato chips, vitamin K. Gotta have me some potato chips. And I need the vitamin K. So I'm like, okay, I just don't OD on the vitamin K in the potato chips. So that's how I get my vitamins, where there's some people that pop a pack every day because they can't eat. Or if they can't eat, they don't want to eat the things that can give them the nutrients that they need. So they have to pop the vitamins. Where me, I can sit down and bear some of the foods that, because that's the issue with people. They can't adjust with some of the foods that have the vitamins that they need. I'm going to talk about this real quick. My Grandma Doris, she used to eat beets all the time. And I hate to look at them. I hate to smell them. I was like, beets, ew. And my son called me up and he said, Mommy, when you make your smoothies, throw some beets in there. Beets. I'm like, ew. I said I would never eat those because my grandmother, she, ate them things and they stink and they look ugly and they're all red and I said, okay, I'll throw it in a smoothie. Put it in my smoothie. I never tasted it. I'm going to be honest with you. I never tasted it, never smelt it. And it's one thing about them berries, them blueberries, they take over the flavor for a lot of things. You know, blueberries and pineapples. Those two things take over the flavor of a lot of things. So when you mix in a whole bunch of different things into a smoothie, those two fruits are so strong that you won't even taste some of the other stuff that's in there to benefit you. That's just like with bananas. They make me feel like I'm going to, throw up sometimes. Well, all the time. I'm not going to say sometimes. Unless I have milk with it. But then milk, I'm lactose intolerant. So y'all see the drama that I go through. But if I put a banana inside my smoothie, not a whole banana, but some banana for my potassium, I don't taste it. I don't have the stomach issue. So y'all get what I'm saying? Sometimes we just have to find ways to make it work to get our vitamins in our bodies, but not everybody can do that. So this is why they have man-made vitamins, so people can still get the nutrients that they need to help them. I don't know what they put in the man-made vitamins that bothers my stomach so bad, but I just can't take it, and I gave up. I just said enough is enough. I'm not going to try again. I tried one more last time when my son, he had told me, he said, "I'll get you some vitamins." I said, okay. And I went to the store, I got the vitamins, and I started taking them. And yes, I was sick for 2 days. I couldn't eat for 2 days. Okay. And I have to eat every single day. I have to, unless I'm fasting, So, these are things that we have to look at, And that's what I looked at when I decided to create my coconut milk bath salt. I wanted to be all natural, God's minerals, and pure, no watered down. Now the jar that I'm selling is 32-ounce jar. You do not need to pour all of that in your bathtub. 1 cup of that and you're good. Okay? People, do you know what a cup is? You got to make sure it's a cup, because some people will go and get a 16-ounce cup and pour it in there, and it would be too much. It'll be overwhelming, and we don't want the product to be overwhelming for y'all. We want it to last you, because, I was told, the bag that I had was just too small, because you got companies like Dr. Teal's out there that's selling a bag, and it may last you 2 or 3 baths. And I get it. My product is not his product. I have more ingredients. That's the difference. Okay. However, I realized what the customers was saying. So I said, okay, well, then I'll give them 32 ounces. 32 ounces will hold you for about 4 baths. Basically the same amount Dr. Teal's bath salt give you, about 3 to 4 baths, if you use 1 cup of the bath salts. Okay. And once the water, touches these ingredients, that's the thing. The water activates it. Okay. You see how wonderful God is, y'all? God is so powerful, how he makes all his stuff get activated by certain things. You know what I mean? It's just so amazing to me, And this is what it does. And once it gets activated, it starts to work on our bodies. Okay. That will be presented to you guys very, very soon. I am working with, of course, the government. And I have some other things that I need to get right with them before I could present my other products to you guys. But that one is able to be sold. It's ready to be sold. I'm ready to take orders for stores. I'm ready to just get this thing going. I am looking for investors that want to get into this project. This is going to be a very, very big project for me. And y'all know how to contact me. My email is on Spreaker. Y'all can also contact me at dejah0717 telephone number 443-805-9841. So if you're interested in becoming an investor, don't hesitate to contact me, because I am looking for investors, because I can't do this by myself. I've been trying, and it's been a very slow process trying to do this by myself. I'm trying to make decisions by myself. It's very hard, people, especially being a mother, and having mates, having to work, doing music, it's that's why I have to give up some things. I can't give up my family. I just can't do that. Okay, so I have to give up some things, and music was my choice to give it up, because they're giving me too many problems with the music side anyway. So why go through all that extra, for what? So, grass ain't always green on the other side, y'all. I'm going to just say that. But yes, I am looking for investors to sit down and talk to me about how far I know it can go and what they think that it can go. Okay? I see long longevity. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think the customers are going to like it. Especially those that really have bad sinus issues. The best thing in the world is to be able to breathe. Who wants to walk around every single day and their nose is stopped up? And that's how I live my life on a daily basis. A lot of us live our lives like that, and when we feel relief, it's the best thing ever. Okay? You don't know. It's the best thing ever, to be able to inhale and exhale and feel good while doing it. Okay? Not having to pop pills. Okay? Because that's what we live our lives on. We live our lives on popping pills. It done got so bad with the allergies and sinus issues. Sometimes I have to go to 2 and 3 stores to find my medication. My over-the-counter one I'm talking about. Now, the one that's prescribed, of course, I go to the pharmacy and get that. But I have to drive 2 and 3 stores sometimes to find my medicine, because so many people are so sick with this illness. They want to breathe. So we got to pop this decongestant that actually dehydrates you. Okay? And then now you're saying, why are my lips feeling dry? I got to get me some water. You drink some water, and now you got to get some Gatorade or some Pedialyte, something to put the hydration back into you, because you want to pop so many of these pills. It's just an ongoing thing, people, So I try my best. Anytime that I can possibly do it natural, I'm going to do it natural. I went, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I've been doing my eucalyptus thing every day. Well, not recently, but a couple of weeks ago, I was doing it every single day. And I didn't have to take no pills. I was like so amazed. Like, I ain't had to take no pills. I had to tell my daughter, I said, I ain't take no pills. We outside and I'm riding around in the trees. But then eventually, of course, it's going to wear off just like a pill will wear off, So God's medicine and man-made medicine is similar. Eventually it will wear off and the symptoms will come back. However, we got to continue to try to maintain it. And, what I do is I come home and I take a bath at night with my eucalyptus and my salt. And try to feel normal for a little while and, until it fades off again. But at least I'm not putting it in my body. That's the thing. You worry about putting that stuff, all those medicines in your body, right along with all of the foods that can counteract with it. And so that's the key that we have to watch out for. We eat a lot of foods and we take a lot of man-made medicines, and sometimes the foods may counteract with those medicines and the medicines may not even work. So this is why we have to do our research. Certain medicines you can't have, like it was an antibiotic I was taking. You can't have no stomach medicine with this antibiotic, like Mylanta or what was the other one? Milk of magnesia. You can't have no antibiotics with those products. And it tells you sometimes, but people don't read it. They just listen to the doctor and say, "Hey, well, the doctor gave me this," and he don't know that you got a bottle of Mylanta sitting on in your medicine cabinet when your stomach is feeling upset, and you go take a teaspoon of that because you know it's going to work. But then you taking a medication that the doctor gave you, and it kind of acts with it, and then it doesn't work at all. So these are the things that we got to look at as well. You know, the less stuff that we put in our bodies that's man-made is better for us. You know, so try to work on other ways of getting your benefits of what you need without destroying your insides, because there's people out here that's on medication for diabetes, heart disease. They may have MS. They may have all kind of stuff. Okay, it's a lot of illnesses out here, guys. And then y'all eating these foods as well. And I'm gonna tell y'all this story. You know, I'm gonna talk about my lady. I have to tell y'all about her because she's amazing. I have a client, you know, I was working with. She had MS. Okay. She has only, and she's 71. She's gonna be 72 this year. This woman, you know, she didn't realize what she was doing in the beginning, but once she got sick, she realized it, and she needed to slow the process down, and she did. Okay. This woman very rarely gets sick. When I say very rarely gets sick, meaning a cold. She takes 2 medications. One because she, you know, has hypertension, and the other allergy meds. I had to laugh about it, you know. And the rest that she takes is vitamins. Vitamins, and she eats healthy every single day. Okay? And this woman is as strong as an ox. You hear me? It just amazes me, you know. And being that I was already into the health thing too, it just gave me confirmation that even if you get ill, it may not be able to be reversed, but it can slow the process down, slow the death process down. Okay? And that's the key. Slowing it down, because we're dying younger and younger. Where back a long time ago, they was living to 100, 200 years old. People are dying in their 30s from illnesses. Kids with cancer. So these are the things that we have to look at, you know. And I tried my best to talk to y'all about eating and what we should eat, you know. And everything is not for everybody. That's the thing, too. I want to make sure you understand that, because sometimes we're allergic to things that we don't even know about. You know, just like I recently figured out that I'm allergic to tuna fish and peanuts. And I've been eating peanut butter and jelly all my life. But it was this feeling I kept getting when I eat peanut butter. I don't get the same feeling when I eat peanuts, though. So whatever they put in it to make it creamy the way they make it is what I'm allergic to. So I have to find out what that is. I'm going to try me some almond butter and see if I get the same effects. Now, with the tuna fish, I'm not sure if it's the actual tuna, because I can eat seafood. That's one thing I can eat, okay, that I'm not allergic to. Seafood, I can eat seafood all day. But it's something with the tuna fish that I know that I'm allergic to. Is it the actual tuna? A certain type of tuna? Is it the seasonings I'm putting in it? I don't think it's the seasonings because I use those seasonings on a daily basis. So I believe it's the actual tuna. So what I'm going to do is go back to eating my albacore tuna and see if it's a type of tuna that I'm allergic to. Just like, matter of fact, I told y'all, I don't know if I told y'all, I think I told y'all, I had a friend of mine, she had made a pot of beans. Y'all know I love beans. I eat beans a lot. I need the protein because I don't eat meat. I don't eat red meat, and I don't eat pork. So I have to have the beans in my life because they're very high in protein. And she had cooked these, she said, have you ever had 15 beans or something like that? And I said, no, what's that? She said, I'm going to make a pot tonight and I'm going to give you some. I said, okay. She's a good cook. So, I trusted her. Shout out to Philly. She's from Philly. And she cooked these beans. And it smelled so good when I walked through the door. She called me. She said, Jackie, the beans is ready. I said, okay. I'm on my way with my bowl. So, I don't eat from many people. So, I trusted her. So I go with my bowl, get the beans, and I chat with her for a moment and come on back home to eat my beans. And they smell so good. You hear me? I was like, oh, I can't wait to eat this thing right here. So I got down, because she's a herb person just like myself. So she puts, good herbs in there. So when you cooking stuff and you got good herbs in there, that stuff is smelling good. You like, whoa, like, I got to eat this now. And that's how I was feeling. So I said, girl, let me go. I'm going to eat these beans. So I go down to my house and I sit in my chair and I start eating these beans. And they taste so good. You hear me? Oh my God. She put her foot in them beans, okay? But guess what? I start itching. I start breaking out in hives. And I went and I showed her. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I said, no, it's not your fault. But I need to know the beans. I need to know these 15 beans because I need to find out which one of them I'm allergic to. So she showed me the package and we tried to figure it out. I still haven't figured out all the beans yet. I just said I just won't eat that 15 bean thing. I stick to the beans that I know I'm good with. But I had broke out in hives and was itching. I had to take some allergy medicine, and then the allergy medicine I had, okay, wasn't effective enough to work with me. Whatever the medicine that they gave me at the doctor here in Charlotte, it just wouldn't work for me. And it's not like I didn't take the medicine prior. So I'm like, why? Okay. So I said, something is not right with this medication. Every time I take it, it's still not working. I still got these patches of hives. I'm still itching. I'm still scratching. I can't breathe. I go through a whole process of things with these allergies. But the point that I'm trying to make is these are the things that we have to watch out for. Sometimes we may be allergic to stuff that we don't even know about. Okay? And we just have to watch out for it. And that's me. Well, with my bath salts, all that's natural. It's oils, essential oils, God's oils. And I was scared to try it up in Buffalo. However, I did, and it worked for me. And I said, more people are selling it. It must be a very good product, and I'm going to give it to you guys. So, y'all will be getting that soon, hopefully. Very, very soon. And just remember, y'all, this product is handmade by me. I'm going to put my all into giving y'all this product and blessings right along with it. I will be praying over all my products before I send them out there to give to you guys, because this is a big thing for me, because I'm giving y'all exactly what God has given y'all, but y'all just choose not to use it because it's not on the shelves, but soon it will be on the shelves. Well, I love you guys. Once again, y'all remember this is Black History Month. I want y'all to look up more inventors that's African American and look at the things that they invented in your home. There's stuff in your home right now that was invented by African American. Okay, so I want you to look those things up. Take time out this week. If it ain't but 15 minutes, and do your part and get some of your Black history. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Deja, Jackie, whatever y'all call me, and I'll talk to y'all soon.